Everybody, this is DJ the Money Coach. I want to invite you to our master class and teach you the pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind, so you can come join us on the Beaches of the World Club. What is that master class going to do for you? It's going to help you create your Black History success story. I'm going to teach you how to create consumer debt freedom, earn an 800 credit score. I'm going to teach you how to pay off your home in 5 to 7 years. I'm going to teach you how to create passive income of $8,333 a month by acquiring businesses, acquiring real estate, and leveraging the tax laws. I'm also going to throw in our family finance one-on-one course, 3 hours, 18 modules. I'm going to give you our best-selling book, ABCs of Wealth, the common sense strategy of achieving American dream. And as a special bonus, I'm going to give you 3 consultations live with DJ the Money Coach, Melvin Hobson, our registered investment advisor of 18 years, and James Lane Jr., our CPA over 7 years. And all you have to do is say, get me free to create Black History with DJ Money. That's right. Get me free, create Black History with DJ Money. Hit the link and you get over $3,000 worth of value for less than $200 to celebrate Black History, and come join me on the Beaches of the World Club with DJ Money in the master class.
Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth, it's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com. Promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase. Now, let's start the show. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy, brought to you by the 7 Spheres of Money. Thank you for joining us for another powerful episode. And before we get started, go ahead and like the video, share it, and subscribe. And help us to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can spread this gospel of the pom-pom lifestyle, plenty of money, peace of mind, and also this real talk coming from real Black women and real Black men that we bring to you every week. So go ahead and share that and get tapped in. So once again, we're back again with the same panel from our previous episode. We have the Queen, Miss Astoria Stubbs. We have her Houston sister, Miss Brooke Sinclair, Valorit. We have Nesha Howell, representing Jersey like me. And then we got Khadirah Muhammad from the D. So, if you want to get connected with the ladies, they'll tell you more about what they do and what they have to offer with their businesses at the end of the episode. And of course, all that information is down there in the description. So tonight's topic is our traumatic American lifestyle, dealing with the challenges and the struggles of becoming a successful Black woman and being a successful Black woman here in America. And of course, there's other factors that come into play with that, alongside of being a Black woman. There's also generational challenges. There's also, social challenges, spiritual challenges. There's a lot of challenges that come with that. So I'll be interested and curious to see where this conversation goes. So I'm just going to toss it on over to the ladies so they can go ahead and lay the groundwork and tell us their thinking behind this topic and why it's important. So let's go ahead and set it off. Who wants to start?
Set it off in this. Set it off. Sorry.
No, we are different.
Yes.
Houston different. Houston different. I keep trying to tell y'all I live in Texas. And Texas and Houston is different. Like, we our own continent around here, okay?
Well, you know what? I the traumatic Black lifestyle, traumatic Black American lifestyle, I was kind of thinking about Claire Danes once had a show called My Traumatic White Lifestyle. No, that wasn't it. Just regular traumatic lifestyle, American something. I messed it up. I definitely should have done some sort of research. Any sort
My
of research.
traumatic
Right.
One of them traumatic. Some traumatic life.
Right. She had a traumatic life, some type. We don't know what kind it was, but it was a traumatic life.
Yeah. And so I was thinking, you know, there's always the white girl story of trauma. We don't see enough of the healthy versions of stories about our trauma. I'm not necessarily talking your dead presidents, your Annabelle, no, Atonement, nothing that serious, nothing tragic. And I'm not talking about your Tina Turner, like, oh, I just ran away from my husband, if you'll give me a hotel room for the night. Like, sorry, that's not
sorry.
funny.
I'm sorry.
That's not funny.
I was not prepared.
I think
we'll push our glasses back.
I know.
You push your glasses back, because that was definitely a glasses push. That one knocked my glasses down a little bit.
We need to see more
I want Brooke to get through this.
varied stories, variations of stories, you know? Oh, yeah, that was it.
Okay. And we sip.
Okay. Did y'all watch that show with Issa Rae? Did y'all watch that show?
Insecure? Oh yes, honey. I've been following Issa Rae since Awkward Black Girl on YouTube, okay?
Oh,
yes. I think that's a great way to start that off though, but Insecure, because if you think about the series of Insecure, it really never was about, like all the outside stuff that was going on. It was really her and what she had to deal with in herself, like how she would have those mirror conversations with herself. And I think that's what I enjoyed most about most of watching Insecure was we have those mirror conversations. Like I have that mirror conversation. I don't know if she be talking back to me the way back, yes, but I be having those type of conversations with myself. Like, girl, you tripping? Like you bugging? Like what's really happening is blah blah blah. But I think, like Brooke said, like we don't ever talk about like for real legit the traumas that we deal with, as Black Americans or Black people, Indigenous people, whatever you want to call us, that live here in the States and what we deal with on a everyday, regular basis. I mean, we don't talk about how microaggressions affect us, how, what is it, the red line and then all this other stuff affects us, and not just, on an everyday basis, but the stuff we have to take home and deal with. And a perfect example is I work for a white brand. I work for Great Clips. I'm the one brown over there, okay, on a national scale for a long time. And I remember going to my interview and I remember having a conversation with my mama, with my sister, and my best friend, because I had to fly to Minneapolis, right? I'm from the South, so I don't really know if y'all want me how I'm gonna come, or if y'all only want like a little bit of me, or if y'all want all of me, or I'm not sure what y'all really want, right?
All of it.
Right. I remember I wear my hair natural all the time. It's mostly completely curly. And I remember asking my mama and my sister, like, do you think I should flat iron my hair and like, like maybe do something different? I'm not sure how I'm supposed to come to these people, if I should come with my whole self, like how I really am, if they really, really like me how I am, or if they just like what they think they see of me on social media, having those conversations. And I talked to my best friend and she was like, so you mean you're going to go up there and be fake? They asked you to come up there and be, such and such. You really going to be fake? I was like, I had to sit back with myself. No, she was like, you teach all these Black girls to love their hair and love themselves, and you gonna go over here and be fake with these people. And so that's just a simple thing that can happen when you're trying to, you know, move yourself to the next level in your career. Do people really want you? Want the persona or what they think that you bring to the table? I mean, that's to unpack. I don't like how you looking at me like that, Khadirah.
We're all just taking it in. That was good.
You know, because what Brooke mentioned earlier, just how we don't talk about our trauma like that. I actually have a bit of a different opinion. I actually think it gets talked about, but a particular narrative gets talked about, repeated over and over again, and it makes us as a group, and when I say group, I'm talking about Black people and then probably the whole, we become insensitive to it, to the real, and I don't even want to say real parts to as if to dismiss what does get talked about, but there's other parts to it that makes it difficult for us to simply exist and be able to do what we want to do, be able to just kind of be, just, you know, not just be a Black woman, be a woman. You just want to exist. I just want to be here. And it becomes difficult to do that and be in our truth and be able to speak how we want to speak, or be able to, I mean, honestly, it's like asking for help. It's hard. You ask for help from the wrong person, and it's like, well, you need to just deal with it. You know, the way I was raised, you know, I never asked my mother and my father this. My generation didn't complain about this, that, and the third, or something like that, where we feel like asking for help becomes a weakness.
Right.
We can't even ask for help. And when we trying to just ask, and then think about that dynamic where it's already difficult enough to speak about what's going on, but now you're actually trying to do your part and ask for help, and you can't even ask for that. Then what do you do? Then what do you really turn to if you have a particular stereotype that's thrown out there and there's no other alternative because we're sold a certain level of media? You can't ask for help, even from your own family sometimes. Really, even from your own family, because nobody want to hear all that.
Right.
You know, you need to just deal with it because I dealt with it, and so on and so forth. What's really the alternative there? You might as well succumb to the stereotype at that point. Because what other choice do you really have? And see, that whole dynamic is hard to even unpack because it's so many levels to it. And all you just trying to do is just exist.
Yeah. We're all like in thought.
Unpack that though. Like, how do we really begin to unpack that for real?
I feel like in our last discussion, I don't want to keep saying it all comes from our history with slavery, but it does.
It does.
It does. That's where
it is what it is.
You know, we can't act like 500 years of oppression didn't affect how we are today. It's not like it all. I mean, the concept that it doesn't exist, and it didn't even stop when it was stopped and we were free. It kept going, just looked different.
It's still going. It looks different.
It's still going. It just looks different. You know, and we take it differently, I guess, in terms of dealing with it, I guess, you know, but that has such an impact on us and how we view ourselves, an impact on how we can even try to talk about without feeling like we got to say, well, I don't want to keep on bringing up slavery. I mean, just that right there.
Yeah.
That I did. Why am I saying that?
And I'm like, we're like, bring it up. Like, we shouldn't be in that space where it's like uncomfortable. No, we got to keep bringing it up. It's too bad. We don't have, wow. Yeah, too bad, so sad. Like, there's no choice but to continue to bring it up.
Yeah.
Right.
None.
I think the pushback that we get when people are saying, well, you know, why you can't keep bringing up slavery, is mostly because I guess what I would say in the community, right, of the woke people is like, well, we were more things before we were slaves. True.
True. Very
And
true.
not all of us were slaves, and we got it and we understand it. But a lot of us deal with the trauma of those things, right? And so in order for us to, I mean, like you said, like we have to bring it up in order for us to like truly heal from it. And then the other part of it is we got to heal as a community. Not only do we have to do our own healing search work, but it's not enough for me to just heal me. I got to help you heal too.
Yeah.
And then you got to help your other sister heal. And then we got to help the brothers heal. And we have to make these open spaces where we're able to do that. Because if not, we just keep repeating the same cycles. It's as simple as, like, in Black families, we don't talk about money. Like, I think that's the dumbest thing in the whole wide world. Like, why we don't talk about money?
Because everybody else is talking about how they can get ours.
Why we don't know what an insurance policy is? Why we don't got the will? Why we don't know the simple, basic things, right? Because when the person died, now we trying to have, now it's GoFundMe. But before it was GoFundMe, it was, baby, we got to sell these chicken and these fish plates.
Right.
But we not talking about it. We just, it's like, no, we have to shoot it under the table. We can't, we just can't talk about those things. We can't talk about our feelings. It's like, no, that's why we all in therapy. That's why people killing themselves.
Why we all in therapy?
They got bottled up aggression that they can't express.
Yep.
Yeah.
The right space, safe spaces. You know, get to the next level. And we can just use Miss USA or Miss I don't remember what it was.
Miss USA, the woman who just jumped off a building.
Right. Yeah. 30 years old. 30 years old, living two different lives. Like a lawyer, beautiful, smart Black woman.
Successful by all
by all societal accounts, right?
Yeah.
Right. Mama was a Miss North Carolina, you know, whatever, showed that she was a mom that could do it type of thing. Like when you look at her story, you're just like, what went wrong? Where? Like what was happening? And then the scariness of her last post was, I hope this day brings you peace and rest. What?
Right. Like
that was her last social media post, was, I hope this day brings you like peace and rest or something like that. Like, and so when you unpack that part of it, it's like, well, damn, what are we really going through to be successful Black women? Like, what are we really suppressing to get to what society deems as success, or what society deems us as success to get to this, you know, next level? Like that's some deep unpacking, man. That's rooted. It's in the ground, baby. That ain't just the little tree stump. That's like the roots that went all the way down. And you're gonna have to cut the tree stump out and get all the roots out from underneath the tree, because it's messing up the foundation.
I got a question for y'all. So when y'all think about Deepak Chopra, Oprah, Tony Robbins, and all the motivational speakers who made gobs of money, you know, off of just telling people, it's not new stuff. It's just newly said in some way that the audience gets it, right? But motivational speakers, they make buku dollars, good ones, right? So when you think about the $1 million industry of motivational speaking, and then you think about at the same time that those people are making that money and raising that up, our society is telling us that we ain't shit. Our society tells us that we need to be locked up. Our society tells us that we're good for nothing. Our society tells us that we're robbers and thieves and whatever. How do in your mind, how do you resolve those two very different views in order to even find success today?
Happy medium. I don't even know really how to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how to come at that.
How do you answer that?
It's a lot of money in telling you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money in telling you what you want to hear without any plan to actually get you to the next step.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of money in feel good. And I'm not just talking about motivational world. It's a lot of money in just making you feel good in the moment. But when you leave the moment, there was nothing actionable about it. There was nothing that would allow you to actually solve the problem that you got. But you're gonna chase that moment though. And you're gonna try to keep to that moment because you wanna feel like something's happening. And there's a lot of money, especially when you're marketing to women. I mean, I'm a marketer, you know, by trade. It's a lot of money in just marketing to women and keying in on the emotion. You key on people's emotions, you have them, you know. So
Right.
And there can be no deeper emotion than if you can feel good for that moment, because you'll chase it just the way that you'll chase a feel good moment anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Because the rest of your moments ain't that good.
To drugs.
No, that's 100%. 100%. Always chasing the next
the next high.
Yeah, the next high. And really you're trying to get the one that you had the first time.
But you can't never find it.
You'll never find it.
First high all the time.
It's the white dragon.
Yeah.
You'll never find it ever again. But I'll keep selling to you if that's what I do. And the same thing with, you know, motivational speakers. You got to make the rest of the, you know, think it's a hope is a very strong emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a strategy in having and utilizing and weaponizing hope in communities. Mm-hmm. And so too much hope and you really think you can do it, then it's like, bring it on back, hold on. But if it's 100% despair, you're not going to be able to get what you need to get out of the other person, because they're just going to be in despair. Like, what's the point? Right. But if I can give you this 1% of hope, and I present it to you, and I'm like, I'll let you try to get it, it's enough for you to keep going. But you're not given the knowledge that your knowledge to actually take that hope and bring it into reality. And instead of a hope, it's actual results happening.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty much.
So it's a lot of money in. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's a lot of money in it. I was just gonna say, you know, women are the household buyers. So I mean, once you appease them, right, you know, they're gonna. And I say appease for a reason, because it's just a moment.
It's just a moment. If I can make you feel good in buying retail therapy, why in the world is that a
why is that a thing?
Why is that a thing?
Like, why do we find solace in that, in consumerism?
We don't.
I mean, that moment.
I mean, I don't. I'm not a shopper like that, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's definitely something that people find, you know what I mean? People find solace in.
Right.
You get
well, they do.
I was just saying, they get that happiness in that moment when they find that they check out and then you don't use it again or it gets lost. I mean, you don't go back for more.
Yeah.
But there's a show on Crackle with
Crackle.
Yeah, it's an app.
Teach me.
Oh,
teach me
it's CRACKLE. Mm-hmm. It's the original streaming app where the driving with comedians in cars originally started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know.
I know.
Hey, Ashton Kutcher has this one on a new show on Crackle where he goes and helps people rebuild their credit and put their lives back together. And he puts them like on a budget and shows them how much money they're actually making at their jobs. I know, right?
So why is this not more popular?
Why am I so bothered by that? Let me stop. That's just really rude. All right, but whatever.
You said you bothered?
I don't know why that bothered me. When I heard it initially, it made me roll my eyes and be like what? Like, I don't know why I had a negative reaction. I'm just gonna ignore myself and everybody else ignore me too.
No,
we're not going to ignore
no,
you.
we're not going to ignore it. What we're going to say is, what I'm going to challenge you to do, especially because you like, I want to read it. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to unpack that. You're going to journal that. You're going to understand why that makes you feel that way. Because if you have that reaction to something, there is something deep rooted that you
I don't know why I didn't like that.
And we don't know what it is, but I'm just saying you should journal that. No thought process, nothing. Write down what it is.
Look.
Allow the thought process to go through and unpack that. That's serious. If your facial expression,
need to make a note of it real quick.
It bothered you to your spirit like that.
Did you see me? Like, I don't know if I was like, what are you doing helping somebody put their like I don't know why that whole baby.
It's something there. It's something there. I'm just saying. This is what, so just so y'all know, like, this is what I do on a real life, regular basis.
You're pretty good.
To everybody. Like,
yeah.
When people come sit in a chair, like I do this for a reason. When my space is a safe space for a reason, so that you're able to unpack things. Why? Because I deal with women just like us.
Yep.
That work in high intensity places where they're not able to be themselves. And then when they say something that triggers them, I'm like, oh, wait, stop right there. Why does that trigger you? What's the issue? What's really happening? Because this is when we can start healing.
Yeah.
If we don't know why we're triggered, you can never heal that. You can never heal that. You gotta know what your triggers are. It's just like understanding who you are as a person when you do your signs and you understand your chart. When you understand who you are as a person, move differently. You like,
yeah, you do.
I mean, I ain't worried about what she's talking about. I already know she two-faced and crazy anyway. Let me what she's saying, right? Or it's the opposite. You see yourself in that person, and what you don't like about that person is what you really don't like about yourself.
I was like, oh, you're so kind. You're just helping the people. Like, you're so kind. No, that I'm just reflecting back on it. You're too kind, Story. No. Like, I don't know that. I don't know. It bothered me. I was like it's like, whatever. You're helping somebody, pull them up. Like, that's Tim. Okay, you ready? I viewed that as like me, like him feeding a homeless person and recording it. That's where that came from. Like, what do you like? Do that shit in private. If you're gonna help people, don't make a show about it where I put you on a budget and all this other kind of stuff and everything like that. I think that's really why I got aggravated. Like, if you're gonna do something for folks, do it from your heart. Do it out of love. Don't do it for likes. Don't do it for money. Don't do it for popularity. Don't do, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm like.
But
whatever.
the reason why he does that, or the reason why white people do that, is because they're trying to make up for the stuff that they done before. They're not. They feel that something is wrong, right? They know that I am not directly, me per se, I'm not directly responsible, right? But they feel directly responsible. So their way of trying to make stuff better is to try to help the Black person, or what they seem as being helping the Black person.
Like, I don't even know if he was helping a Black person. I just was
no. I'm not saying I don't even know if he helped a Black person, but I'm just saying it doesn't have to be a Black person. I mean, it's the innate, their nature to
tell people what to do.
I gotta make it better because I kind of sort of might be a little bit of the problem. So
sweep it under the rug. Like that.
I gotta make it better, you know, like.
I don't like that. Look, I don't like
that's
that.
Just, yeah. That's him appeasing himself. That's himself. Triggered. Yeah. Sorry you were triggered.
No, I mean, it's all right, but it just, you know what I mean? Like, but realistically, I think that's why it really bothered me. Like, if you're going to do something for people, just do it. It doesn't need to be, oh, I'm going to give you this and let's let everyone watch on syndicated programming. Like, it just.
And let's be real. I mean, him and his wife have enough money. They could have just written those people checks to pay off you know what I'm saying? Like, just pay off their credit card debt, if that's the thing. I realize you're trying to, lead a man or teach a man to fish.
Profit or something. Work with the people. Don't freaking do a show about it.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't.
Your face said,
It did.
If I could be a fly on the wall in all of y'all houses with y'all facial expressions throughout the day, I think that would be a show, because if you're doing that with me, right, like with us, just imagine what you really be doing behind closed doors.
Right. All
How
day.
you really
My
be
face
looking.
gets me into so much trouble.
Yes. Yes. And with the Black woman, we're considered oh, she's an angry Black woman. No, I'm just passionate. Saying how I feel. I'm not even angry at you. My face is not anger. I don't have
Where's my face?
a face. It's more of like, you're kind of saying weird stuff, and it kind of bothers me a little bit. And here's how I'm going to express myself. And hopefully you don't take offense, because coming from love, it's not coming from offensiveness.
That's what she says to you?
That's what I say to people.
Okay.
They think that when they think that I'm like being an angry Black woman, I'm like, no, I'm just passionate, and I'm just saying what I say. It's all coming from love. I promise I'm hardly ever angry anyway. Like what's the point of me being angry? It's like me eating the poison, waiting on you to die. For what?
Right.
Why? So but that's other trauma that we deal with in our own selves, right? Be mad at the world, be mad at everything else. We over here eating all the poison, waiting on Nancy to die. And it's like, Nancy not about to die. Just give her the poison, and then she'll die. But that's not how it works.
Nancy is hanging on strong.
Listen, I'm tired of being a strong Black woman. I'm tired of doing all of that. I'm emotional too. I'm sensitive. I ain't got to hold everything together. I ain't got to be strong.
Let's talk about that.
I'm tired of that narrative. I'm so tired of that narrative.
That's a trauma response, 100%. The constant, I'm strong and I'm independent. I can do whatever, and I don't need nobody. I'm a very big opponent of that concept that you don't need anybody. I'm really, really, really opposed to that, and I don't feel like it's accurate at all. Because
I was like that for a long time. I'm not even gonna hold you. I was like that for a long time. I don't.
A lot of us are. The things that we go through as children, and then what ends up, if we don't end up dealing with it, it manifests again in our adulthood, and we end up repeating the whole cycle. And so we feel like we have to say all the time, we don't need anybody. I don't need help. I don't need help. I don't need help. I don't need help. And then wonder why we don't get it. Or, you know, even when it's presented to us, you still don't get it, or you don't use it in the way it needs to, because your constant mindset is you don't need it, or they're trying to hurt you, and you feel like you have to be this self-defending person all the time, and it ends up hurting you more than you need. It ends up hurting you more than you even mean to, and we feel like we just gotta be both sides all the time. Y'all putting up your hands.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to
doing a Brooke. No, go ahead.
No, but like I recently read a book called Who Not How. So for me, like, it's about, you know what I mean, like outsourcing tasks and everything like that. But it talks about how we were raised to do everything on our own. If you got help, it was cheating. If you know what I'm saying, like if you ask people the whole school system is about do it yourself. Don't let, you know what I mean, so-and-so shouldn't hide your answers. It's yours, to the point if somebody like, you're looking at my answers. Yeah, man, I'm looking at your answers for the collective, B. Like, help me out. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like now,
let's just go out.
Exactly. Like it should have been, you know what I mean? It should have been a lot more everybody working cohesively on ideas to, you know, like I guess maybe if classrooms were structured like that, where we did work together, like you had independent learning and then you had your group work. But then even within the group, if you know what I mean, like there was always like that person, the one leader would emerge or whatever, or it was just that person, but I'm not doing their work. I'm not doing it, you know what I'm saying? Like that, it was always like, so-and-so didn't do his end of the deal. Like now I got to do his stuff. Like, oh, I don't need anybody to do this. Like I could have did that all by myself. So I think a lot of that, you know what I mean? Like, and that has nothing to do with with race. That just has to do with, I mean, I don't want to say it has nothing to do with race, but it has to, you know what I mean, with that school structure of just,
It's
you
that
know,
crab in the bucket mentality, baby.
you know what I'm saying? So
Everybody
it's like,
down.
yeah,
Only I can make it.
only,
Right.
oh God, let's not even get into the crab in the barrel.
But I'm saying that's when it's taught. Like you said it.
Mm.
When we at school, like, no, it's mine. No, I can't.
It's mine, like, no.
If we were taught to be a collective, how much further would we really be? Like
If you got help, like even now, like if you do a paper or something and they find out, like, somebody, oh, you didn't do this on your own? It's like unheard of. No, I went on Fiverr. I hired some folks. Somebody did the research. Somebody else did this. We came together. Give me that. Like, I don't know. I'm smarter than everybody here because I outsourced this. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? Instead of being, but I definitely used to be that person who was like, I don't need anybody to do this. And it's come back to bite me. You know what I'm saying? Like you learn over time, just like, nah, I need to strengthen numbers. That's one of the things that like I'm real big about. Like, it's strength in numbers. Like, let's, for the collective, let's come together. It's easier if we work together. It's, you know what I mean? Like drawing the people in and stuff like that. So
You know, that made me think of when you talked about how, you know, just the independence and just bringing up the concept of how it's in school and whatnot. And it made me think of what Astoria said earlier and how we have to create healing spaces that are open to, you know, different concepts and different ways of thinking in order for us to actually heal. What it actually made me think about is religion and how when we, and I don't even just mean organized religion, but also just, you know, people who are agnostic or just spiritual, enjoying different cultures and different ways of being. We, particularly in the Black community, but I know it's bigger than that, have this thing of, you know, my way is my way. And my religion is my religion. And our way of healing is our way of healing. And there is no other way that you're going to be able to get there if you don't join us. And if you don't join us, then all the bad things.
That sound like the Black church, baby.
I'm not being specific to that.
I'm just saying that's
I'm
trauma response. It sounded like the Black church. Sorry.
And the thing is, unfortunately, a lot of us are going to identify with that. But I was trying to particularly not just bring it to Black church, because it does happen in other spaces. And it's just this thought process of, if you don't call yourself Muslim, if you don't call yourself Christian, if you don't call yourself a Mason, if you don't call yourself a Hebrew Israelite, if you keep calling yourself Black, if you you
gotta be a Moor.
You gotta be a Moor. If you're not using gods and earths, then you're not really with it, and I'm not gonna help you. Now hold on. If you have something that's supposed to help the community at large, but if I don't subscribe to how you live every single day, you're not gonna help me. So it's still crabs in the bucket then. So that means not all of us can be helped. That means your way ain't really helping everybody anyway, if you can't really help people with what you got.
Right.
Crabs in the bucket, again, it's just a bigger bucket at this point with different looking crabs in the sense of a religious collective. That just made me think about that.
It's absolutely true. And I remember when I first started my like spiritual journey, right? I used to think that way, like, you know, this is the way. Like, oh, I finally found the way. And all these other people, they tripping, they crazy. And it took me a minute to realize, like, no, everybody's right. Like I said earlier, everybody's right. Like, there's no wrong, there's no right, nothing. We all made in his image. So we got some piece of whatever the general collective is, right?
Yeah.
So once you break it down like that and you realize that we all came from this source, this one thing, and eventually, you know, energy never dies anyway, it just transfers. So that means we're going to go either back to the ether, right? Or we reincarnate into something else, or energy, whatever, other energy, whatever you believe, right? Whatever that looks like to you. Once we start really being accepted of everybody, then you want to help more people and you want to help everybody and you want everybody to thrive, which is why I share so much stuff. It's like, okay, People be like, you gonna teach somebody how to garden? No, I ain't gonna teach them how to garden now, but I'm gonna give you some tips and some tools to help you do what you need to do. Because ain't nobody teach. Here's the thing, here's the reality. No one taught me how to do it. This is something I remembered, right? Like I just got it into the earth and was like, I think this feels good. Okay, I think this plant gonna do, oh, let me do some research and plant this plant, right? Now, will I help you and guide you and say, here's the tips, and then will I share and do all those things? Yes. Will I give you some of my food and my vegetables? Will I trade with you? Yes, because I want all of us to be healthy together. But you ain't gotta be vegan. You ain't gotta be vegetarian. You ain't gotta stop eating your meat. I just want you to be healthy.
Right.
However you get to that space, that's how you get there, right? What worked for my body may not work for your body. The way I listen to my body may not be the way you listen to your body, right? And so once we think of it in that concept that there's no right or wrong way, then we can all start to actually be together in community.
Yep.
It's very hard for us to be in community together and truly be in community together instead of all these separate pockets, because we still, like you said, they're keeping each other crab in the bucket mentality. I can't do that for her. Like, nah, she only believes da-da-da-da-da, or he only wants da-da-da-da-da, and oh my gosh, she wants to be a polyamorous, and like it's all these other things that happen, and you be like, does that really matter?
It doesn't. It sure does not.
It doesn't in the long term at all. And it's just, the concept of unity doesn't mean that everybody's just like one person. It's a unit. It's unity. Base word is unit.
Mm-hmm.
You coming together in one. If you look at the military and you have people in ranks, what that means is you got one person behind the other, and another, and another, and another, and that's one rank. Right. And if you look at them face on, it looks like just one person, height, whatever, right? But it's just one person moving in one single file way to perform one particular action. But it's a bunch of people in that that are different. And so we do not need to be all the same for us to be able to perform whatever action we're trying to perform.
Like we can't.
We're trying to heal as a collective. I'm sorry, what you say, Nesha?
No, I said we can't be all the same. I would say.
It's impossible.
Brooke is on it, baby. She said, that is my alarm.
Yeah, Brooke said,
that's our time. God bless you.
That's our time. And you ain't gotta go home, but you gotta
right.
Like stop you mid-sentence. That's why I just put it in the chat.
No.
And they read it out loud. There was
it's
no,
all right.
no discretion. They read it.
It's all right. It's okay. I appreciate it, because I will keep talking. The long story short of it is just we don't need to be the same to be able to do what we do, which is the healing of us and then the progression of our people. Mm-hmm. And so really going back to where we used to be way back when, but I'm not going to get into that because that's a whole.
It's okay. You can say stuff.
No. That'll be a whole conversation. We talk about where we really need to be going as a people in terms of just collectively.
Yeah.
And how, let me stop. That's it.
No, you can say it because I probably was going to say it. Collectively, we need to be going back to
our own,
right? Can we get back to Jim Crow? I don't want to say it that way, but you know what I mean. Like, we was good. I'm just saying, if you're living in the time, I don't want to be a part of your society. I just want to be me. Okay, I don't want to be equal to whatever it is you think.
You know what?
But anywho, I feel like that was a hindrance in our lives, and I feel like we should get back to I'm not going to say Jim Crow in a sense. What I'm going to say is we should get back to being independent,
segregated,
to be self-sufficient, to be able to have our own grocery stores, be our own doctors, be our own employers, have our own communities, and have
There was a reason. There was a reason why all that was destroyed, hindered, and not just physically bombing us, physically destroying us. The psychological damages isn't incredible in the sense of like how we still feel it. And that's why we can be so scared to do something for ourselves. That's a real life thing I heard. I don't want to get bombed. I don't want to. They did that with Wall Street, Tulsa.
Everything. It's just like,
all,
it's so sad.
like
So sad.
what's
And
the
we will
organization
build it up
called?
again and then tear it back down. Somebody will build it up gorgeous over here and then come and just run through and just say, can't have nothing. And then you tell us that we don't know how to take care of anything. Like we don't, you know what I mean? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And
It's awful.
then
Like
they teach their kids that we don't know how to raise ourselves up by our bootstraps. You took our boots in the middle of the night when we were sleeping.
right.
You took the boots and the straps.
And the
Yep.
strap. I was gonna say, what about the strap?
No, they didn't. They
Yeah,
didn't take
true.
it. They burned it down.
Burned it.
They burned it, and then this allowed us the ability to make our own. So
Right.
and the thing that what you have to think about is, what's the mindset of somebody who does all of that to a whole group of people who you say are inferior to you? So the concept should be they shouldn't even been able to do that in the first place. Number one, if we're really inferior, let's be real. I shouldn't even be able to do that if I'm inferior. So obviously I'm not inferior. Obviously you're scared because you need to have somebody subservient to you who naturally isn't, and is a very strong people.
Yeah.
And again, I'm gonna talk y'all into next week. I'm gonna bring out these books, but
Not bring out the books.
The books, get the books.
I ain't getting up again.
Put the books, Nick.
But no, seriously, like the mindset is obviously we are a force to be reckoned with, which is why we've been reckoned with. These past 100 years, and even our own self-sabotage is a part of the reckoning. In terms of us, even when people say we can't have nothing, like I don't even like that sense because it's too affirming. Even though it feels like we can't do anything without such and such happening, or this being torn down, or this new law that blocks us from being able to really do this, that, and a third. It makes it very difficult. But we're obviously a people that have so much capability and so much to offer the world. I mean, first of all, everybody came from us anyway. So when I say first here and last to go, I mean that. I mean
Alpha and Omega, baby.
That's right.
Beginning and the end.
That's it. So how can you can never destroy us, even in our own
Self-destruction. We can't be
self-destruction. We can't even get rid of ourselves. My father, he was teaching one day, and he talked about the population situation in the United States and whatnot. And so for most people who study populations, if a group gets to a point of having I think it's a 1.4 birth to death ratio, then they're essentially extinct. You will not come back from that. You just won't come back from that because you're not birthing enough to counteract the deaths that are happening.
Yep.
So you're just not coming back from that. And so Black people right now, we're at like a 2.5 or something, maybe a 3. But most white populations are at like a 1.2, 1.4, 1.6. It's very, very low. It's very, 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 very low in most locations, especially in places in Europe. And so,
but they pushing the interracial narrative, so they obviously want to disappear. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say that out loud.
Oh, but you did, and that's a part of the conversation. Because it's a destruction to themselves. And then also, it makes me think about, how we get talked about because of us having children out of wedlock and whatever. And this is what I mean by even in our self-destruction, we can't destroy ourselves. Sure, we're having children. Maybe the way it's happening may not necessarily be the best case, but you can't reform a people that don't exist.
Very true. And we need some snaps. You cannot reform a people that does not exist.
If they're gone, they're gone. There's nothing you can do about it. And so the reason I bring that up is just the consistent sabotage, the consistent reminder of our traumas, the consistent, how come every time it's Black History Month or any type of, honestly, throughout the years, always the new slave movie. Why is it always talking about our enslaved individuals? The consistent reminder that yes, the country that you're in right now, you were slaves. Your ancestors are enslaved. You don't know where in Africa you're from.
Right.
You don't know. And we're just gonna keep on saying it.
Yeah.
And we got this story, and we can make up this narrative and this couple and whatever. Yeah, slavery is bad, but also just remember, just keep remembering. Because if I can keep it at the top of your memory,
Right.
now you're consumed by it. And it's like, we still gotta talk about it. Why it's always gotta be talked about like that?
Yes,
Sorry.
and the illusion that they give you that all of us came over here on a boat. That's that part for me. It's the illusion. You could, ain't no way you got all of us. It ain't no way. With all the things that was happening during that time, you just told you my logical brain, like the legality of things.
Yep.
Right? Like, no way. Nope. Like you just can't. It's not. It doesn't make sense. And you can't find a place that was already having people live here. So like the concept of Christopher Columbus type of thing, like, oh, discovered America. How you gonna discover where people are already at? We was already here.
Been here.
Been here.
Like already here. You mean you just got here? That's like me going to Google Maps and I'm trying to go somewhere I never been before. Oh, I discovered it.
You thought you found me?
I just got
you walked up on me. I am here. You approached me. I'm here.
I'm
already.
Already.
But you discovered it?
You know, I've never been to Houston. I'm going to discover Houston.
You found it. Right?
Yes.
But that's the thing. The illusion or the disillusion of the fact that we all came over on ships. We were all enslaved. We were all doing this. No, a bunch of us wasn't enslaved because a bunch of us was like, oh, hell no, y'all not about to enslave us. We about to kill y'all ass. This some bullshit. Like, no, right? I mean, and then when you just think about what history decides it wants us to think, and we just accept it. We don't even question it or nothing. They just give you a history book at school and they say, here's what happened.
But history decides what they want us to think.
Right.
I'm still stuck there because that's exactly what it is.
Well, actually, in Texas, the Daughters of the Confederate taught us what we wanted to know in just so you know. Just so you know. In the South, the reason why our history books are the way they are is because the Daughters of the Confederate made sure that the books were exactly, we didn't really enslave Black people. They were really indentured servants, and really, it really wasn't that bad. And we really took care of them. And like, this is the narrative, and like, this is true fact. Wow. Like, they literally, and these are in power now that write the books that we read, that our children read, that are in school. Like, I can't remember. I had I think I had a client tell me when I first started my journey of like learning about myself. It's the lies my history teacher taught me. That's the name of it. Wow. Read that book and was like, these people been lying to me my whole life. They tripping, right? Yep. Even when you see, I can't speak for y'all's books, but I know in Texas history here, like when you look in your in their U.S. history book, and they show like Egyptian people and they show enslaved people, they're lighter skinned. They're not dark skinned people. They're lighter skinned, fairer skinned people, right? And so they teach narratives like almost from beginning, like light is right, and like light is a thing, and like these are the things that we should be, should be happening, right? And so when we talk about all of this stuff that history taught us and why we have these traumas that we have, it's because like you literally, like you said, you keep throwing this narrative in our face, but the illusion is that ain't really what really happened. Half of us was already here and we was chilling and thriving, and you decided you wanted to come and conquer some people right? So you decided you wanted to figure out a new group of people that you could oppress, because you couldn't oppress the people that was over there in the other place, because them African people was like, this is bullshit. Nah, we ain't doing that. So we just gonna take some of these people over here and we gonna make this happen on this side of the world. And we think we can just make this, match together.
Yeah.
Right. And eventually it just kind of like passed over. And this what now we believe is our history. And it really ain't. That's not really the case. It was really some other stuff that was happening, and it took you a long time to get over here and try to conquer us anyway, because we was like, we ain't having it, right? But the only narrative you want to show is that you were enslaved.
Right.
And this is what we did to you for 500 years.
Right.
And blah, 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 blah.
That's it.
Yep.
And now you're here.
And now you're here. When in actuality, like if you think about, like, yes, the North had slaves, right? But let them tell it ain't the type of slaves that was in the South. Right? Like there's these different narratives.
Yeah.
But it's like it's levels to slavery. Like what?
It's levels.
It's all slavery. It's all slavery.
It's levels of slavery. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
And you know what?
Or even, sorry, girl, you was a house nigga because you was inside. You were light skinned. Your papa was the slave master anyway. Does that make it any fucking better? He was raping my ass.
right.
I didn't
That's not be outside with y'all, maybe. You don't know what the hell, like, why would you don't know? None of it was good. It's not
at all.
But the fact that the narrative is that makes it better.
Yeah.
Because you was outside in the cornfields or outside in the cotton fields and doing all this, and I was inside getting molested by my daddy or whatever, or who the master,
whatever it was.
He could have been their daddy. Yeah, it's very possible.
It's possible.
Yeah,
definitely been. Oh, that's just hard.
Very like. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but we talking about trauma. I'm just saying, we really if we want to break this thing down. We gotta think about the psychological stuff that was really happening to us.
Yeah,
real, and we carrying this to our unborn child or to the child. We're literally, remember energy. We carrying that energy.
Yeah,
it's getting passed on and on and on and on, and we're never breaking the complete cycle. And we just keep. What is it? Sweeping it under the rug we ain't gonna talk about it. We can't talk about that. You can't talk about your business. You can't put your business out in the street. People don't need to be knowing your business like that. And therapy is not for everybody because
Black people don't do therapy.
It's black people.
I'm about to say because I'm
going.
going.
Black people's do.
I'm going. Whenever I get good and ready to in droves, or if I stop and then decide I'm going, I at least always know I can go to therapy.
Thanks. So, sorry, I went all on a tangent because that really made me upset when people illusion of history of the fact that those are what people. That's the only concept of what you have of history when that's legit, not even really history. But whatever, let them people keep telling you that foolishness. Whatever y'all say.
We'll be right back with Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. After this message. Stay tuned.
Everybody, this is DJ the Money Coach. I want to invite you to our masterclass and teach you the pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind, so you can come join us on the Beaches of the World Club. What is that masterclass going to do for you? It's going to help you create your Black history success story. I'm going to teach you how to create consumer debt freedom, earn an 800 credit score. I'm going to teach you how to pay off your home in 5 to 7 years. I'm going to teach you how to create passive income of $8,333 a month by acquiring businesses, acquiring real estate, and leveraging the tax laws. I'm also going to throw in our family finance one-on-one course, 3 hours, 18 modules. I'm going to give you our best-selling book, ABCs of Wealth, The Common Sense Strategy of Achieving American Dream. And as a special bonus, I'm going to give you 3 consultations live with DJ the Money Coach, Melvin Hobson, our registered investment advisor of 18 years, and James Lane Jr., our CPA over 7 years. And all you have to do is say, get me free to create Black History with DJ Money. That's right. Get me free to create Black History with DJ Money. Hit the link and you get over $3,000 worth of value for less than $200 to celebrate Black History, and come join me on the Beaches of the World Club with DJ Money in the master class.
I've had a thought today on this very topic, And I was on a conversation with a Black woman that I've never met face to face. I've never seen her. But within the first like 60 seconds, she said a few like whoop de whoops, you know, da 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 da. And then I was like, oh, bet, da 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 da, and clicked, right? So we're having this great conversation. We're talking about this event. And she was like, she was asking me about the supply chain, about all those cars and stuff that you see, the stories about people thieving and breaking into the thing. So she was like, I don't get why, if there's so much stuff and it's sitting there, why are the prices so high in the store? Like, I don't understand what's going on with the supply chain. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't have to be like that. And she was like, well, what do you mean? I was like, well, I mean, you know, white people going white people, you know.
White people go white people.
You understand what you meant?
Girl.
Did you have to?
I understood
like,
exactly.
Oh, okay, I understand. And it made me realize that we are over slavery. We don't want to talk about slavery except for the debt that's owed from the invoice that has not been paid from back in slavery, right? So except for taking y'all to collections court, that's the only part about slavery. It's the other stuff that they keep bringing up, talking about, oh, you Black, oh, you can't read good. Well, actually, I have a master's. I do read real good. Thank you very much. Real good. I can say something. I can say it. What you want?
I can give it to you both ways. Which one?
Okay. How
You
you want it?
Phonics way? You want me to code switch on you real quick? What you want?
Or you want, Becky, you want, oh my God, like I could totally tell you all about it and all the best.
And it was so amazing.
Do you want Brooke Sinclair or do you want Brooke?
Right.
Right. Who would
You know which one do you want?
I say that too, Khadirah. I say that. I'll be like, do you want Astoria or do you want Astoria? Like, who you want?
Like niche? You know what I mean? Like who is it?
Because you could get both,
Right?
You can get both.
But yeah, we are over it. It's just we needed to stop. That's what it is. Right?
We need to stop the replays and the reruns.
The remixes.
Because we really are as a people really trying to get to the next step. The constant bombarding of this
social disparity, social injustice.
And this, it's like a commercial of like, yeah, you know, I mean, this is something you can keep on buying and da da da. We get because it feeds into the, you know, the outrage, the hate, you know, the despair in us. And not to say that those things don't exist, they need to get healed and need to be dealt with. But like, what's the point? Keep triggering something that you know is going to be the same result. You know what the response is going to be. That's why every other day we see a new lynching of somebody who just got murdered. Let me
knock warrant
showing you. Yeah, and then let's keep going. Okay, we understand they really get mad about that. Okay, and then they're gonna talk about it on social media, which makes everybody keep on speaking about it. Okay, then the person got acquitted. Keep on speaking about it. Then it's gonna stop. Then we're gonna bring it back. Go through the whole motions again.
It's the cycle. It's the emotional roller coaster that they keep sending you on. And it's get off the emotional roller coaster, you can never see that it's an emotional roller coaster.
Exactly. If I can keep you in the top of the emotions, the most negative
right,
of
that peak,
emotions,
the apex, like
you can't come off it. I'm gonna keep you there. I'm gonna keep you in the opposite of it's the feel good, it's just the opposite end.
Yep.
It's the feel good, it's just the opposite end.
Right.
And you're not really gonna be able to see it because you're always upset and mad. And it's not to say that you should not feel something. You see somebody of your own being murdered and having their life be taken. That's not to say that. We're not saying that. But what is the purpose in broadcasting that image all over, everywhere, making it the most shareable thing out there? What's the real purpose of that? What's the result you're trying to get? If I'm always outraged, I can't actually progress.
Yep.
Because I'm always
It's the way they,
keep us in a
it's the way
frenzy.
they keep you. It's the way they keep you keep you as the angry Black woman or the angry Black people. And the truth of the matter is, we're gonna go through this trauma, and the trauma is gonna keep happening. The other side of it is we're gonna keep showing up in droves and protesting, just like our parents did, and we're gonna keep holding up a damn sign like that's gonna change something and marching and doing all this stuff. Listen,
and we're gonna feel good about doing all that. We're gonna feel real good. I'm gonna feel real connected. I'm gonna feel like I can really, I'm doing something.
I ain't doing nothing.
You're not. And it's controversial to say that you're not doing anything but protesting. It's controversial in our community. Because then we feel like, well, what? You feel like you're better than that. You feel like you're better than us?
Right.
What's the result of the protest? Because if it's, are we boycotting? Because there's a difference between a boycott and a protest. If we really going, because what's this all going to do? Money. It fuels the money. If I can get you upset, you're gonna pay attention to this other thing, and you'll probably buy something, or you'll probably invest your money over here, and you won't use it in a collective manner that's actually gonna be able to help you to get out of this situation. I gotta keep you in your emotions. And I'm not even just talking about the money. I gotta keep you sold on the narrative that all you was up in here was some slaves. You should stay mad about that. And yeah, all this stuff is still happening, but I need you to just stay mad. Because if I get you to stay mad, then you're not gonna do nothing. You're just gonna be mad.
Yep. And I mean, Brooke, I love that you put in there this new got it, but this new party of things that are happening, because if we don't talk about it, no, it's gonna get swept under the rug, right? No one's really gonna say anything. But Black folks sure think that a vote can change something. They really, I ain't saying that we didn't fight for the right to vote. I ain't saying that, don't get it twisted. But what I'm saying is the work that really needs to be done doesn't get done. That we just can elect these people and magically the shit is just gonna change. No, even the politicians are corrupt. They all are out to do whatever it is they need to do for themselves, get to the next level where they need to be.
We need our own corrupt to be.
The real work is us creating our community and starting in our community. Where the grocery store at? Where's the collective of us shopping? Because here's the reality: the Chinese community, they vote, but they don't be worried about nothing because they got everything that they
unlock
community.
Got it all hemmed up.
They got the own.
They are okay.
Town.
They okay. They okay living with each other until it's like they collectively okay, here's the business we're going to start for you. We're all going to put our money in. We're all going to work here. We're all going to do this, blah, 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 blah. Here we go. All right, next person. Here's the money we're going to do for this person.
That's really what they do.
In families.
Yeah.
We don't even do that. When one of us come and say we got a business plan with our family members, first
laugh.
I don't think that's a good idea. I don't know if I want to put my money up and do
every reason.
Yeah.
Every reason not to.
But
reason not to.
That is part of the trauma, because we had businesses and then the white people came and burned them down. So
we can't have
full circle.
Nothing, right?
Right.
Okay, so how do you all feel? Do you feel it's your responsibility as female entrepreneurs to change it?
Yeah. For me, I do. Which is about love. And we talked about Black love. And I said that I ain't really, yes, I want love, right? But I'm looking for the partner. How do we build things that we need to build? Because I don't want to be in a situation where we're saying we're building this generational wealth, right?
Right.
Well, you ain't got to show for it. You work so hard in the business, but what's the rest of the, where is it at?
Where's your generations? You didn't have none.
But also we need the full package too.
Yeah,
Because
that
it's
was
not
my
just
favorite part of
money.
that conversation too. You know what I'm saying? From being on, like I said in the episodes, like being on the opposite side of it, where I was more geared towards love first. That was my favorite part, because I do think that now, not I do think like now, I know now what I'm looking for. Like my standards have been raised, my this, you know what I mean? Like I know I have heightened awareness about certain things. I know who I want to be in the community. I know who I want to be in the lives of my children and eventually like my spouse.
That's
So
huge.
like that, you know what I mean? Like that definitely. So even like, for me myself as a Black entrepreneur, I definitely feel like it's my responsibility to cultivate and to, you know what I mean, like to just for it all to grow and to disperse it, like sow these seeds and show everybody and teach folks and whatnot. Like I definitely feel like it's my responsibility, it's our responsibility, because we're learning to develop the resources. Like we're like as you know what I'm saying, like we're learning to, and as the mothers or the nurturers, the women, you know what I mean? Like those of us who, you know, like, we're like, whether we're mothers or not, like we have, you know, we're the womb.
No, we
like
are, yeah.
It's up to,
We
you know what I
mothers,
mean?
whether we
If you
got
don't have
physical children or
children,
not.
you still have a, oh God, why is my vocabulary right now? It's giving me a hard time, but like you still have a responsibility to our people to show how to get it done, you know?
Yeah.
I think a step further than that, I think our community really needs to see the whole image and the whole package as much as possible, because it's not just even the monetary side of things. It's not just, you know, owning land and real estate, but it's also the family dynamic. It's the community dynamic. What are you doing outside of that? What are you doing to help yourself, you know, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, however you decide to be in this world? We need to see what it looks like. When I say we, I'm talking people younger than all of us. They need to see what it looks like when you have a Black woman who has kind of the family aspect together as much as possible, and she also is resourceful, and she has this and she has that, because we kind of need it all. It's not just one aspect.
Right.
There's a lot of people with money, they personal lives are just absolutely monstrous. I mean, it's just not there, but they got the money. That's not something I really want. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a very impersonal person. You know, I think I can have both, because I really think I can. And I don't see why I cannot. I don't understand how I couldn't. And so that's something that has to be shown, because it's very possible. And it's ours if we decided for it to be ours. But they need to see that. Because if I don't see a Black woman who's successful in business and also has a successful family life, then it's like, well, then now I feel like I gotta choose successful family or non-paycheck to paycheck life. Let me just be real, you know? I don't think then now mentally I got to choice. Or you can you can have the money, but your mental health is just down in the gutter. You just don't got it. We have a duty to heal ourselves as much as possible so we can show with our actions, not just with words, because we talk a lot. We can talk. You know, as we can talk, but what's the real actions happening outside of that? Can we show that we don't always have to be the super strong? I'm tired of I don't want to be the rock of the anything.
That's what we were talking about before. Remember, we were all like, yo, that's the conversation we wish but I just want to be. You just want to be tired of having that persona.
We just want to be a woman. Why can't I just be the woman? I just want to be the woman. I understand it's masculine, feminine energy and everybody. I get that. Can I lean a little bit more on the feminine? You know, or can we figure out that combination that makes it so we don't feel so burdened by performing something that's not in our nature, that we're not even supposed to be doing to that degree anyway?
Yeah.
Can we also still be successful? Because we can. It's happened. It was stripped from us, and we're left with trying to figure out how to bring it back, and not even just bring it back from before, but bring it back and make it better. You know, but we have that duty to really show it and improve ourselves as much as possible so people can see that, because don't nobody care about what we're saying. This ain't the generations for that. This is not what's gonna happen. You gotta
What we
show
doing?
it.
Yeah,
What we doing? What are you really doing?
What we doing?
What's happening?
Yeah.
I need proof. Because if you don't look happy, then I feel like, okay, now I gotta choose. I've never seen a happy woman, a happy Black woman who's successful in her life and have the money.
Right.
Now it's a choice, or I feel like it's a choice, and then it just repeats.
Yeah. I have a question for all of us before we like wrap up or whatever, because I know Nick got to go to bed and y'all on East Coast time. And Brooke just over here chilling. Here's my question.
Put us to bed.
Kind of, it's kind of trauma related, but kind of not at the same time. So I saw this post one time that talked about how if the Black man actually was, let's just say, the community leader, he's the Malcolm X, the Marcus Garvey, the MLK, whatever you want him to be, right? Are you as a woman, right, capable of understanding you have to share him with the community? And I don't mean like the intimacy or like that part, but understanding that in the cultural, in the sense of the greater good, right? If this is the person we're putting our faith in, right? But the person that is moving us progressively into the way we need to be going with, whether that be a man or a woman, right? I'm just using man because we're women. I would flip it for a man if we had a man, right? Well, I could ask Nick, but you see what I'm saying? Are you okay with them being for the community in the sense of it's gonna be some late nights, it's gonna be some other stuff happening? Yes, they might sacrifice some of the household, whatever type of whatever the concept is for the betterment of the community. That makes sense.
Like if that was my man, I mean, if that's the role that I landed in, you know what I'm saying? Like if that's
like, can you be Coretta, baby? Like, can you be?
That's what I was just saying. Like if that's what I was thinking.
Betty,
if that's the role that I landed in, I guess I would say yes if I landed in that role, because what's meant for me is meant for me. Like if I ended it, you know what I'm saying? Like if I ended up in that relationship, rightfully so and everything, then yes, I could, you know what I mean, wholeheartedly, because I would feel like I was meant for that role. You know what I'm saying? Like it would feel like it was for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I would.
In the society that we live in now, it doesn't seem as readily okay, right? Because now there's to me, I guess from the people that I surround myself with, right? I feel that there's a lot of Malcolms and a lot of Martins. Like there's a lot of little in different little pouts of the world, right? The universe.
Yeah.
And so the way we talked about this, right? Being the strong Black woman and all those things, the way we have been, internalizing things and the way we go through things, like, will we really be okay with our person being the person for the community, even if it was for the betterment of everybody, right? Because that puts a sacrifice on ourselves, right? In our family, because they're the leader in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I could be honest and say actually no, for me. Mm-hmm. If you came to me as that, and you was already, and I already know myself. And I also know the type of family I want. Mm-hmm. And I've seen that. And I know it's probably just not something that, at least me right now, I just don't think that's meant for me.
Yeah, be real about it.
Now, if we was already together and it's something that you've developed, or we already have this family dynamic, I'm going to do everything I can to make it work. But that's a lot. I mean, it's actually a lot to ask. Right. The Coretta Scotts, the Mother Khadijahs, all the people, the wives of these great men are incredible women to take that on. Because that's a heck of a task to ask somebody to effectively sacrifice your own family. Because that's really what you have to do. Because what's that saying? I think it's like the carpenter the shoemaker got the worst shoes, whereas the person who's doing all this work for the other people who have that skill to be able to do what they need to do, a lot of times their own personal life doesn't reflect that.
Terrible.
The energy is focused out there. And if you consider as women, we end up being like battery chargers for our men to be able to go back out there and do what they need to do. That's a lot of charging you got to do. And often that takes from ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, because I guess for me, I never, I don't know, I find peace in myself more than I could of any other person. But I can give peace to a lot of people. But I only find peace in myself. If I got one person that's taking all that from me, that takes a lot from me to be able to provide. And then you still, as a woman, have to take care of the family, even on a bigger front, because they're not bad fathers, but they just can't do the same thing that other fathers are usually able to do. You understand what I'm saying? They can't do that. And so you have to have your spirit on tap, the mental on tap, everything has to be there for you to be able to take on that. Because it's a secret. I mean, not a secret. I'm not saying you ain't got a secret.
Secret sauce, baby.
But seriously, you are that person and you're more so behind the scenes. I mean, we never really hear about this until the brother has unfortunately already passed away, or like it's years after.
But I mean, could you be Michelle? Could you be Michelle's Barack? I'm just saying. He was a leader of the free world, right? Leader of the free world, right? I'm free-ish. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said the free world.
No, I got it.
I don't know. But I'm just saying, could you be that? Because I don't think that the role has to be how it used to be. I think you could be Michelle and Barack. I think it's a partner. I think it's a partnership, right? But the question is, are you able to share him in that manner? Like, we can't say that Barack ain't no good daddy and he ain't around his kids. Yes, he had to be a leader of the free world for 8 years, right? But at the same time, it was never a moment where I thought that he was not there for his
like neglecting the girl.
there for his kids, right? Or that there wasn't a good family structure dynamic. I never for once thought that about him. And to be completely honest, I never thought that about Malcolm or Martin, and of all the history that I've known, like that I've read. I mean, I don't know, right? But everything I read, I never thought that they weren't there. Like, I'm sure there were some pieces that were missing, and things like that. But ain't that happening in all Black families? Well, ain't that happening in all families? Like, if you grew up in a family, just a father being an entrepreneur, let alone a mama being an entrepreneur, or anybody, like some pieces always missing, right?
Yep. Coming through 100%.
Right, you're not gonna get 100% all the time. It's I think the way I'm asking the question is able to adjust, for that to be able to happen. I think in reality, we're gonna have to have some of these type of families in order for us to, as a people, be able to see what we really can be. I ain't saying be, as crazy as Malcolm, as extreme as Malcolm, or as extreme as Martin, or as extreme as Marcus Garvey, but a mixture of maybe the collective, right? And a couple of those different melting pots of things. You got to have some strong men and some strong women to be able to take on those roles for us to be able to truly, I guess, together as a people. Because it's some type of structure. We got to see the structure somewhere. Somebody got to make the sacrifice. Yeah. It's 10 of us or 2 of us. Somebody got to make the sacrifice, right? So I'm just asking because we are such independent and such, strong women, even though we can be very feminine, we want to be the feminine woman. Like, what's your limit? Are you okay with supporting the movement? We gotta support the party.
I was just about to hit somebody.
Brooke.
No,
Brooke
we gotta show up with them bean pies.
Right. I thought you went.
No, I was saying, like, I feel that. I feel like I am that Michelle Obama, Coretta Scott King. Yeah.
I mean, because if that's, like I said, if that's the role that I was watching, I mean, because Khadirah makes a great point. Now, if you come to me and say, listen, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be the, you know what I mean? Like the new leader and bring everybody to like, this is what I'm into, this, that, and the third. And I might, at this point right now, I'm like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. I'm scaling my business. Like right now I'm working on me and I'm, bro, I don't know. You know, I'm being honest.
I think it's
But like, if I'm in a
honest
marriage, and which is what I, from your examples, what I was getting, like, I don't know, because I'm not a history buff, but it seemed to me like they were already married. Like, you know what I'm saying? They were kind of like involved in some things, but I believe Malcolm, like, he was getting into things and then, right, and then found his wife, right? So like, he wasn't married and then decided I'm gonna be like this leader. Like, he was already a leader, got into the Nation of Islam, and then found, you know, and then got married and everything. So that there is more like, you with me? You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like if it was me in a marriage and that's who he evolved into, absolutely, this is the role. Like, this is where I ended up. I chose you for a reason. You know what I mean? You must have had some kind of leadership qualities that where I saw some kind of glimmer of, not necessarily of you being like the next MLK or anything like that, but if I know my man, like, and he all of a sudden becomes a leader, like, there was some leadership qualities, and you're like, yo, I'm not surprised that you taking this on. So if that's the role that I ended up in, I'm all for, like, definitely, I'm going to support my, you know,
or our newer generation of Fred Hampton or something like that.
What?
A Fred Hampton. Could you be with a Fred Hampton? I'm just, you know, I'm throwing stuff out there. Don't.
You're getting a little crazy now.
I live for the people, I die for the people.
Listen. I was born in the wrong era, okay? I really feel like I was born in the wrong era. I'm telling you. I mean, I've been here a bunch of times, but I feel like
really we established that last week, that you definitely have been here multiple times.
But this my last time, though. I keep telling you, this my last time. I ain't come back no more.
I'm out.
Done. I'm out next time.
Huh?
Right.
So you saying like I'm out?
Yeah, you're not getting back on this ride again. Nah.
I'm like, at least go to let me not.
I already know I want to go home. I'm not even from here.
They gonna be like, that took a turn.
Right.
What's the inside? You know, Nick, just cut this whole part out.
Just cut that part out. No, I mean, I'm just saying, there is some strong people that have to be able to do those things. And I just always wonder, you know, like if people could take that on. And mostly because I guess I'm around strong Black men that I feel like are community leaders and are really like trying to push things forward. And I see their relationships suffer. Like, most of them are going through like divorces and things like that.
Oh, wow.
Woman is like, I ain't doing that. Whatever, right? You know, and it just really boggles my mind that, one, that they would choose that partner, right? And then that partner would decide that they don't want to deal with this, when you think that the partner that you with should understand, like, you even if you was a small community activist when I met you, right? You had to believe at some point.
You had to know. Right. It's not even about the belief. You had to know where this was going to lead to. But also kind of comes in our conversation from the last episode, is if you're asking the right questions. And you should already been able to pinpoint some. It don't mean you had a whole picture, but you had to kind of get an idea of how how this potentially could be, who this person really is. If you ask the right questions, or if you noticed it because you weren't so deep in the emotions of it all, and you were at least able to identify, you know, you might be going this direction. You know, that's why I say, like, I mean, I know me. I just don't think that's in me. If you present to me like that, we already together, I should already have an idea.
Right.
Nothing's guaranteed, but I should have an idea, and I shouldn't be surprised if I wake up and this is what we're doing now. I shouldn't be surprised.
Right, because you know that. It's like same thing like with red flags. It's the opposite of the red flag. You got that community leader flag. Like,
I'm just
You have to have an idea.
I'm just gonna be funny and be like, you mean you didn't want to wake up like Chris and decide, when Bruce decided?
Just
I knew she was gonna sip her water. I knew she was gonna. That's why. I just, sometimes we get a little serious, so I have to bring the fun.
bring it down.
Gotta bring it back.
We appreciate you. I wonder if she even has anything in that cup left. She might have just had the cup.
You in
cover
my
her
business,
face.
Nisha?
Huh?
You in my business, Nisha?
I didn't even figure it out.
Cause I didn't question any of y'all's cups. I'm just letting y'all know. Y'all real over here question what I got over here.
I made sure that you saw that this was a cognac glass, okay?
And that's great. And that's great. And what's in my cup is gonna stay with me, myself, and my partner. So,
Okay.
You say your partner or in your apartment?
Apartment. Oh, you know what? Oh, funny.
I heard partner.
Funny.
I heard partner too, Nisha. I heard
I said
partner.
apartment. That's called
My
selective.
apartment. All right. We sorry.
Sir, you can come out from around the corner now. We know you're there.
Sir.
Sir, not anymore. You don't have to have
a small 1 bedroom, okay? Ain't that many places.
He's like, babe, get the books. Take the books down. So hand me the books.
Babe, take the books down. Here, babe, here go the books.
Take the books. Take a book back. Take them back.
Okay, I'm sorry. So what I said was the question I asked ladies, and I'm gonna ask this to the male perspective, right? Mm-hmm. So if you were could you be how did I say it? Could you be I don't want to say helpmate. Could you be with the person that is for the community? Could you share your person with the community? So for example, for us, like, could we be the Corettas or the Michelle's, Betty Shabazz? Like, could we be that person if our person was for the community, right? And it was for the betterment of the unit. So if you're a female, what's her name? That's always on everything for Black people.
Angela?
Nah, the young girl. I can't think of her name. But
the Nobel laureate poet girl?
No.
You on social media mostly?
No, but she be on social media everywhere. What is her
Zendaya?
name? No. She is a political political activist. Like, she be in the streets. She be talking to people. Her name. She start with
the Tika Mallory.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Her. Could you be her partner? Like, if she was the person for the community, you know what I'm saying? Like, could you be okay with her being the person for the community? Like, how does that affect you?
The interesting thing about it was, I won't say too.
She tried to holler. She tried to holler.
No,
you know what?
What I was going to say was, the interesting thing about it was, I guess prior to the pandemic and COVID and all of that, I was actually outside a lot more than I am now. So, I'm kind of, I won't say I'm an activist per se, not as much as I was when I was in college, but I'm outside too. So, I mean, I don't know if a relationship can work well when both people are outside and active, or if it if that's an asset, or if that's going to cause some conflict. I'm not sure, but I'm just saying I would be outside too. So I'll probably be right next to her.
Yes.
Holding down.
So where the kids gonna be at? Look at me. Like, where the kids gonna be at? Right with y'all? Everybody gonna be together?
Outside.
I mean,
I'm just asking.
I guess it depends. It depends, because there's some instances in which it's and which is not safe for the kids to be out there. So, you know, I mean, I guess when it's not safe, they're gonna be with grandma and grandpa.
I'm sick of the story already.
You know, that's a really good point though. When you have two people on the same mission and they both doing the same role. And the thing is, it sounds real nice in theory, but eventually y'all gotta come home.
Somebody got to them.
You know,
yeah.
And it's I think it's very difficult.
Yeah.
I just have to imagine it's very difficult.
Who's taking care of home?
Yeah.
Everything's just a mess. I mean, well, I guess since we're gonna be free, we're gonna have somebody to hire somebody to do the cooking and the cleaning and all that.
Hold on now. Hold on now. We say community activists. And you know, it just depends on what, you know, how that's happening. Okay, let me say it like this. Somebody got to be at home to take care of it, because the community activists need to activists themselves to just, I need you to actively rest up. I need you to actively be here. Mm-hmm. And I can just imagine how difficult it would be if you got two people doing the same thing. Right. And they're doing great out there, but when it's at home, it's not together. It's hard to communicate because you focus on this mission, which is great, but somebody's got to play the supportive role, in my opinion. Somebody's got to play like the supportive role to the activists in a way that's just going to allow them to be able to do what they need to do, but then also be able to have a place, a retreat. You know, everybody needs a home base. Everybody, you know, the home isn't necessarily the place, your place, it's your base. Everybody needs a home base. You need a place you can find solace and be able to retreat to, a place that's yours, that belongs to you, that's cultivated for you and your family, you and your people, but also really just you know, to a degree. You need that in order to go out there and do what you need to do. Everybody needs that, but especially if you're gonna have that type of mission, I think it would logically make sense. You gotta find somebody who's with it and they're down for what you do, but it probably doesn't work if they're doing exactly what you're doing. That's that compatibility aspect.
You're right. I think that's valid points. I loved all of y'all perspective, honestly. I loved every piece of it. I do think that both of y'all can do it together, but that's because the overachiever in Capricorn and me feel like Nick said, the kids gonna be outside with us. We're gonna be where we're gonna be at. Because I've already decided that the type of person that I'm gonna be with when we travel, the kids traveling too. Like, we ain't gonna stop. I'm like, y'all not from Texas, but I'm like Toby and Fat, okay? If you can't, if me and my whole family can't come, we ain't coming. So if the baby can't be there and we can't come to the show. Sorry. I can't come speak, he can't come speak, because we a unit. We together. If we all can't go, we can't go. Period. But that's just me. I'm real extra. But that's because I would want my child or children or whatever to understand what's happening and then be able to decide as they get older, if they choose to still be in the movement, they could be in the movement, if hopefully the movement over and we actually living in a good life. But if not, I would want them to be able to see, right? So they could be exposed to all parts of life. Like, I don't believe that, you know, kids shouldn't, you know, I think mom and daddy have adult time, but that's why grandma go with you or the nanny go with you or whatever. So y'all can have adult time, but the kid's still there. Like, right. This is a family unit, period. I believe in the unity of the family now. Like, everybody got to be together, period. Mm-hmm. You do have to be a part. I have this thing in my mind, like, this probably sounds really crazy, but the rule in my head is we can't be apart for more than 7 days. Like, if we got to be apart, like if there's a thing that has to happen, it can't be more than a week. Somebody gonna have to be into it. We all coming where you at, or you coming home? Well,
that's awesome.
But those are my boundaries that I set up with the things that I choose for the partner that I am manifesting into my life.
Is there, you know, any any closing statements? If not, y'all can just go to y'all, shameless self-promotion plugs, all that good stuff.
Not shameless self-promotion plugs.
Hey,
Shameless self-promotion, please.
Wow. That's how you're gonna do us?
I mean, I said shameless. I didn't say shameful.
I mean, yeah, but it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't-
You gotta tell people, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, before it starts sticking. So
That's true.
yeah.
well, sure. I'll start us off.
Let's go, Valori.
Okay, Valorant. Boom. Brooke Sinclair, CEO, founder of Valorant, the sustainable supply chain solution. Our tagline is "Don't just import it, Valorant." Yeah.
Awesome. This is good as a CEO.
Next.
Just love that CEO talk right there, baby.
Right. Well, Lord, baby.
All right, next.
Well, I don't know. I know, guys. I'm Nesha Howell. I don't know. Geeky Nisha on Instagram, Geeky Nisha on Twitter. I am out here doing e-commerce, selling on Amazon, 6-figure Amazon seller, mentor and coach. That's where I'm at.
I am Astoria, Miss Story on all social media platforms. So MS_STORI. Hairstylist, barber, spiritual. I'm an entrepreneur, all that. I'm a Jill of all trades. I do a lot of stuff. But you can find me on all those platforms. You can go to my personal page and look up all the other stuff that I do. Yeah.
And Khadirah Muhammad, Systems Implementation Engineer at Omnipotent Marketing, helping online service-based businesses be able to scale their companies with their systems, automation, and processing. You can see everything I do at Khadirah Muhammad on all social media, or Khadirah.com, which is just my first name. And it's right there.
All right. Yes. So thank you, ladies. Thank you for another powerful and deep conversation. This is a very, very deep topic for especially during Black History Month, but it's a very important topic. And so, everybody knows who I am. But you are watching the 7 Spheres of Money channel, and this is Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. Join us every week. We got programs running every week. We got Bet on Black. Of course, it's the women's version. We also have the men's show. Then, you also have Nick's Knowledge and Notions on Fridays. So tune into all those programs. And again, like, share, and subscribe. And we wish everyone a pom-pom lifestyle that has plenty of money, peace of mind. And we want you to come join us on the beaches of the world. And your beach doesn't have to be next to sand or water, but your beach is where you find your peace of mind, your tranquility in that place where you heal from that trauma. We will see you next time. Peace.
If you are serious about learning how to command your money instead of your money commanding you, Duransburg Jr., who we all know as DJ the Money Coach, is the person for the job. Here I was, this middle-aged woman who had so many financial mistakes over the years, feeling stuck and even hopeless, and the only way out I saw was prayer. Well, apparently my prayers were answered when I saw a video of DJ the Money Coach as a guest speaker on one of my favorite YouTube content creators' channel. My attention was immediately drawn to him as he told his own story about pulling himself out of that same sunken place I felt like I could never get out of. It was truly inspiring. But the icing on the cake for me was that not only because of his many years of experience working with governments and Fortune 1000 companies teaching financial education, but that he is linked to some very heavy hitters in the financial education arena. that pretty much sealed the deal for me, knowing that he didn't mind reaching back to help those of us who otherwise would have just continued to go through our everyday money struggles. So on our second meeting, DJ the Money Coach went over a risk tolerance questionnaire with me in order to deliver a financial analysis custom made for me. So with him, there is no one size fits all, and he is independent, meaning he can deliver more and cater to where you are right now. His 7 spheres of money system is definitely putting me on track towards financial freedom in the near future. His system is my lifeline I needed to pull me out of a drowning pool of debt and predatory lending. Also, having to report my spending to him every week is training me how to become more disciplined in my spending habits.
Hi everybody, my name is Altavis F. Fleary. I am a notary and loan signing agent. I'm currently working with DJ the Money Coach on setting up my financial business strategies for my business operations. So far, DJ's been great. He gives great advice, and I'm looking forward to continue to work with his team and making sure that we set me up for the near future. Thanks again, DJ.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Tajir. I'm a young professional from New York. I just want to give a big shout out to DJ, the Money Coach. I had a consultation call with him and it was amazing. I learned about so many things, from insurance to buying real estate and getting leverage on transactions to tax loopholes, tax pitfalls, 401ks, IRAs, much more. If you're on the verge, if you want to advance your financial future and you're not sure what you do or where to go, I definitely recommend seeing DJ, the Money Coach.
Hello, my name is Crystal Jones and I'm in the healthcare field. I would like to take the opportunity to thank Erica Williams and DJ the Money Coach, along with his team, for providing valuable gems to help me get on a successful financial path. And yes, I am ready for that pom-pom lifestyle.
Hey, I chose to rock with DJ the Money Coach because he gave me, during our complimentary consulting session, he gave me 3 things that I think is going to be game changer. 1, he gave me an action plan to increase revenue in my business. 2, he gave me 2 conferences that I'm going to attend that I know are going to be game changers in my business for networking. And 3, he gave me an action plan to pay down debt, save, so that we can buy properties and it won't put a strain on our household. So that's why I rock with DJ Money.
The reason I decided to get up with DJ was because I saw him on a couple different platforms and he seemed like he really knew what he was talking about, and some of the things he said resonated with me. And that was confirmed once I got on the phone with him. And about 45 minutes, he gave me enough gems, enough game to probably save me thousands of dollars, because I was leaving so much money on the table from tax advantages, business structure, so on and so forth. So if you're looking for somebody that has experience, if you're looking for somebody that actually can do what they say they can do, I would advise you to rock out with DJ the Money Coach. DJ, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for everything.